Good morning, members. I'm just testing my sound. Sound check, 1, 2, 3.
Morning, Mr. Reddy. How are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you. And yourself? Is that
It's a
Mr.
pleasure, sir.
Banga?
Oh, yes, sir. It is Andrew. Yeah.
Wonderful,
So,
Andrew.
your sound is perfect,
Now
sir.
I'll just
It's
test my
perfect.
camera. I'll show you my handsome face. Are these
Ah,
meetings broadcast anywhere?
it depends. Most of the time, yes, because if we talk about 4-8, they always alternate with the NCOP, but the NCOP is not scheduled to have a meeting today. So they will definitely broadcast this one. Yeah.
Okay, so I must get my camera right then. Let's have a look. Oh, this is a disaster. Can you see me?
I can see you, but your lighting does
The lighting is bad, eh?
it does interrupt, yeah, in the background.
Think- Okay, let me see if I can make a change. I'll try
Yeah.
this again. All right, thanks.
All right, sir.
Is this any better, Andrew?
This one is 100%, sir. Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect, sir. Thank you so much. All right.
Good morning, honorable members, and let
Recording
me
in progress.
welcome you to this meeting of the National Assembly Programming Committee. I've been requested by the honorable speaker to chair this meeting this morning because she's currently indisposed. May I request for the agenda to be flighted, please? Honorable members, the agenda is there in front of us. Are there any apologies?
Morning, House Chairperson. I have the following apologies. This is Masabula Klaso. Following apologies, the Deputy Speaker, the House Chairperson Majosi, Dr. Kornov, Mr. Swart, and of course, the Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Yes. I've seen the hand of the Honorable Reddy. Honorable Reddy, good morning.
Good morning, Chairperson. I'd like to also add the apology from Honorable Mani, who was unable to attend today. He has other commitments, important commitments.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, are there any further apologies? Honorable Dlakude.
Morning, Honorable Frolic, House Chairperson. I have the apology of the Chief Whip and myself. I'm not well, but I'm in the meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Dlakude. I hope you get well soon. The Honorable Kalipi.
Good morning, House Chair. I have an apology of the Chief Whip of the EFF. She's going to join the meeting a little bit later. She's struggling with the network.
Thank you. Will be noted. Are there any further apologies? And with those apologies tabled and noted, we will then proceed to the agenda. Before I consider the agenda, I was requested by the Speaker to make the following statement. Honorable members, I wish to inform you that the Speaker and members of Parliament in general have become aware that the Minister of Finance intends to introduce the rates and monetary amounts and the amendment of Revenue Laws Bill, which will propose to retain the current VAT amount instead of the increase announced in March 2025. As a consequence thereof, the Minister will also withdraw the current Division of Revenue Bill and the Appropriation Bill in order to propose expenditure adjustments. It is expected that the Minister will then introduce new bills in the forthcoming weeks. Honorable members, these developments will definitely have obvious consequences for Parliament and the program of the National Assembly. The effect of this will be the review of the parliamentary program as it currently stands. Once more details are obtained, the whips will meet, followed by the program committee, where a revised program will be put up for consideration by members of the National Assembly Programming Committee. I wish to thank you. I see the hand of the Honorable Kalipi.
Thanks very much, House Chair. Thanks for the update.
My hand is also raised. Sorry, Honorable Kalipi.
No, I'll come to you, Honorable Reddy. I recognize hands in the sequence that it was raised. The Honorable Kalipi is first.
No, thanks very much, House Chair. Thanks for the update. We also wake up to the news that is all over social media. And thanks God that we have this kind of a meeting so we can get a formal update in that regard. Chair, but I didn't hear you well in terms of the processes in Parliament, because the Minister reintroduced the Division of Revenue Bill and Appropriation Bill in few weeks, according to the statement, with adjustment to expenditure. But the Money Bills Act, Chair, says that the two bills must be in line with the adopted fiscal framework. So now, when he wants to reintroduce them, what they will inform by which fiscal framework? Or are we going to be taken through of how is it going to unfold, starting from the committee level and going to Parliament? Because all this was also processed in Parliament. I hear you by saying that no, the program of Parliament will change there will be an effect on this change of heart from the minister after the matter has gone to court. And now, can we also be taken into confidence here? Because there is an item that talks to the program of the Parliament. If those changes are already in this program as proposed one, because as well as the program of Parliament must be also be processed here in this programming committee. So also, Chair, the media statement is not explicit, it's not clear, because I think the statement also alludes to the fact that the 75 billion shortfall is not going to be covered if he is finally withdrawing this VAT, which we opposed very much as EFF. As a matter of fact, we took him to court. So now, if this 75 billion shortfall is not cleared, according to his statement, where are we going to get a clear indication of how are these 75 billion going to be dealt with? Because we must also not find ourselves whereby the big cuts is going to happen. Do you remember during COVID time, there were some big cuts from the departments, and we are also struggling from the COVID-19. And if it's not cleared as per the statement of the minister, we as a member of parliament, we are also going to be lost. So I just need to get that clarity, Chair, on those issues. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Mkalipi. You actually hit the nail on its head when you said it's part of the programming. I see there's two other ends that has gone up, and I want to suggest that we do that under the item of the consideration of the parliamentary program, where Mr. Kaso will also have an opportunity to respond. But let's start with the meeting and put that item under the consideration of the parliamentary program, which is item number 4, so that members can have an opportunity for discussion. Yes, Honorable Member.
Chair, I hear you, but the thing is, you should have introduced that under item 4. You did not do that.
Honorable Reddy, don't tell me how to chair a meeting.
So I think now that the
I now put the consideration of the agenda to the honorable members. The agenda is in front of us. Is there somebody that wants to move for the adoption of this agenda?
Chair,
I move, Chair.
Honorable Chair, I move for the adoption of the meeting of the agenda.
Thank you.
Abigail, I will second, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Chair, we have
agenda has been adopted, and we will now proceed.
Chair, I'm not being recognized in this meeting, and this is not how democracy operates.
Honorable Reddy, if you know how democracy operates, then you will respect the sequence.
I've raised my hand, and you have not pointed to me. We have an item we wish to introduce on the agenda of today's meeting.
What is that item, Honorable Reddy?
It's simply the inconsistent committee practices. I want us to discuss that issue, please. I think it's important for all parties.
We will do it after we've dealt with the minutes of the meeting of the 3rd of April.
No problem. Thank you.
Matters arising. Thank you. Honorable Dagmo, I see your hand is up. Honorable Dagmo?
No, Chair, I was just proposing adoption of the agenda. Sorry.
Yes, no, thank you very much. The agenda has been adopted and it's been seconded. We'll proceed. I now request the committee section to present their report.
Thank you so much, House Chair, and good morning to members of the committee and colleagues as well. I'm presenting the report of the committee section on bills before committees. House Chair, in the last NAPC meeting, we were requested to actually indicate the executive bills and the private members' bills. I have since done so on this particular slide, but we have also indicated the type of the bill on each slide that we are having. Currently, members, we're having 26 bills before our committees in the NA. Moving to slide number 7. Slide number 7 is a new bill, the Intergovernmental Monitoring Support and Interventions Bill. That is the bill before PC on COCTA. The committee is yet to schedule that particular bill. Slide number 10 is the next slide that I'll be looking at, and that is a bill before the Standing Committee on Finance, the South African Reserve Bank bill. We have some updates there. The committee will receive a briefing by legal services on the 14th of May, and it also intends to advertise that bill as from the 9th of May. The next slide is slide number 11. Before PC on health is the Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Control Bill, and they will continue with the oral submissions on the 20th, 21st and 28th of May, and 3rd and 4th of June, and that is the provisional date that we are given. And the responses by the department will be on the 10th of June 2025, that is also provisional, and also the consideration of the motion of desirability on the 11th of June. And they will also have deliberations on the 23rd and 24th and 25th of June 2025. And if all goes according to this planned program, the committee aims to finish this particular bill on the 25th of June 2025. Next slide is slide number 12. Slide number 12, I just want to mention that this information has actually changed. The committee will be going to the Northwest Province, and that is actually meant for June 2025. The next slide is slide number 16. Slide number 16 is the Protection of State Information Bill before PC on Justice. The committee will be receiving a briefing by Parliamentary Legal Services on the 14th of May 2025. The next slide is slide number 24. Slide number 24 relates to the National State Enterprises Bill before the PC on Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. The committee will have stakeholder hearings on the 14th of May and also on the 16th, 21st and 23rd and 25th of May. And I'm trying to look at House Chair because the font is very small on this side. Sorry about that. So they will also have on the 6th of June, the department will actually respond to oral and stakeholder hearings. And on the 11th of June, the Parliamentary Legal Services will give inputs on the public and oral and stakeholder engagements. And then on the 20th to the 27th of June, it will be hearings in the provinces on the bill itself. And then the 4th to the 8th of August will be the motion of desirability and the consideration of public hearings and participation reports by the committee itself. And then the committee plans a study tour on the reform and governance of SOEs from the 8th to the 12th of September. From the 21st of October to the 24th of October and the 27th to the 7th of November. There will be formal committee deliberations thereafter and the adoption of the report. That will happen on the 7th of November, which is also a date on which the committee intends to finalize this particular bill. The next slide is slide number 26. Slide number 26 is the Prevention of Illegal Eviction Prone and Unlawful Occupation of Land Amendment Bill before the PC on Human Settlements. The committee will be having a further briefing by the member on the 28th of May, 2025. The next slide is slide number 27. On slide number 27, before PC on Social Development is the Older Persons Amendment Bill. The committee will be receiving a presentation by the legal advisor on the 7th of May 2025, and that is a provisional date, and also a presentation by the Department of Social Development on the 14th of May 2025, and a presentation by the South African Police Services on the readiness to implement amendments. That is also provisional. And then the committee intends to adopt its report on the 21st of May 2025. That is also provisional, so it means that provisionally the committee intends to finalize this bill on the 21st of May 2025. The next slide is slide number 42. That is under petitions. A petition before the PC on social development. There will be a briefing by the pensioner and the responses from the Department of Social Development and SASSA on the 16th of May 2025. That is also a provisional date, House Chair. On next slide is slide number 45. Slide number 45, before the PC on human settlements, the committee will be having a follow-up briefing by the petitioner on the 18th of June 2025. That is all from my side, House Chairperson. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much to Dr. Kangaza Twala for the report. I will now recognize hands of those members who wants to make an intervention. The Honourable Reddy.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you to the good doctor for that presentation. Chairperson, as the MK Party, we note with concern the sheer volume of bills that sits before the National Assembly portfolio committees, as outlined in the committee section report. Yet Parliament remains gridlocked by inaction, delay tactics, and selective prioritization given by the GNU. There's 26 bills, numerous petitions, statutory appointments, and critical oversight functions remain, it says, to be scheduled, or it's stuck in endless cycles of briefing and referral. This is not legislative efficiency, Chairperson. This is like a political paralysis that is masquerading as process. We have some key concerns, which I think is so important. I would like all of us to listen very carefully to this, Chair. Deliberate delays on strategic bills. There's vital legislation, such as the Reserve Bank Amendment Bill and the Anti-Corruption Commission Bill, which would enhance public control over monetary policy and curb elite impunity, are continually postponed. These delays benefit, it seems, just the political elite and their business handlers, while South Africans are suffering. The second issue, Chairperson, is the dangerous trends in local government bills. We all know the state of local government in the country. The Municipal Structures Amendment Bills, B2 and B9 of 2025, they aim to restrict how often no confidence motions can be tabled. This is an anti-democratic attempt to protect corrupt mayors and speakers from legitimate accountability. We will oppose this vigorously and certainly see this as some kind of a power shielding tactic. Chairperson, the other important issue affecting all South Africans is the Eskom debt relief, where we see more bailouts and no consequences. The Eskom Debt Relief Amendment Bill, it seeks to convert debt into equity, yet there's no mention of accountability for mismanagement or a commitment to stop outsourcing corruption under the guise of procurement. This is corporate welfare, Chair, dressed as reform. The next one is the Political Funding Act review. This, to us in MK, is simply a whitewash. The NA resolution under the Political Funding Act remains vague and conveniently buried, with no urgency to uncover or expose the true financiers of political influence. MK Party, we will continue to demand transparency and disclosure now, not after another election. Chairperson, finally, the issue of petitions and the people's voices being ignored. Petitions on gang violence, farm attacks, pension redress, and informal settlement upgrades are piling up with little movement. Parliament must not become a graveyard for citizens' demands. So what we want to see, Chairperson, is a full audit of committee activities We want to see strict timelines for bill processing and consequences for deliberate stalling. We want to see, most importantly, a public dashboard where these are tracked so that the progress of committee work and petitions are made known to everyone. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you for that statement. The Honourable Darkmore.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I really think we should resist the temptation to turn the programming committee into a portfolio committee meeting. When the Honourable Reddy expresses subjective views on certain items of legislation, I think we all know very well that those are issues that get debated and discussed in the portfolio committees themselves. So the first point I want to make, Chair, I would appeal to you that we need to caution members in regard to, getting into a subjective discussion about the content of bills. I think in regard to the issue of the programs of portfolio committees in regard to dealing with legislation, the report that we've just received is indicative of the steps taken by, in particular, committees in regard to public hearings, etc. So I think that report, and I want to propose that we note and accept the report. I do think that we need to look at a situation where we are now in the 7th administration. We obviously need a clear program to ensure that we complete the legislative agenda, both those introduced by the executive, the private members' bills, etc. And I don't think it's correct to claim that there's a political agenda behind, certain legislation. We have the portfolio committees, and you yourself, Chair, convened a meeting yesterday of the chairs of committees, where all of the chairs, in terms of the second term now, are requested to sort out their programs in regard to legislation oversight and so on. So I think we should accept this report. But I have serious concerns when members want to use a programming committee to discuss the merits or otherwise of certain legislation. Thank you.
The Honourable Mkalipi.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, maybe members also, equally so, they must also let you know to share the meeting. They must not come and want to dictate for other members how to speak here. Because we are here, you can share the meeting. Chair, I'm equally frustrated, and this is not the first time we discussed the long processes of processing the laws in Parliament. For instance, Chair, the Local Government Laws Amendment Bill that is under COGTA, when the department came and presented the APP on Tuesday, when they present how far with the process of amending that bill, they mentioned that this process started in 2024, and according to their plan, is going to take until 2028. And we also communicated our frustration in the committee to say, we have raised this thing in the programming committee, but we can't be taking forever to implement such important laws that are going to intervene in the state of local government in South Africa. And if I can also tell you, Chair, firstly, in 2024, they are introducing the law, and then they are introducing to the cabinet. After that, after a year, the technical working group from the cabinet, they are going to respond. What madness is that, Chair? So I think we must have a way as Parliament, because Cabinet and Executive Committee are accountable here in this Parliament. We must have a way of telling them that this forever taking to deal with such amendments of laws is not acceptable. I think that discussion must also be reactivated, because we once have this kind of a discussion, Chair. Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Mkalipi. I saw the hand of somebody called Keta, but that hand has now subsequently disappeared.
Thank you, Honourable Chair.
Can you just name your device correctly, please? Because it is an official meeting of Parliament, and for minute purposes, we need to have your surname as well. Thank you.
Actually, it is written like that. It is Keta Mabara. It's Keta Stone.
Yeah, it is subsequently changed since you hand your hand up first, Honourable Member.
Okay. No, thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you for the presentation of the bills. But I was, Honorable Chairperson, I was trying to check the issue of COSA petition because that one was passed from the Portfolio Committee of Human Settlement. Are they bringing the new one or are the same one that we have debated on the Portfolio Committee of Human Settlement? Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Sitole, I will get that report from the Bills Office as soon as a report after this item. I do take the comments of the Honorable Members into account. Suffice to say that there are certain matters, of course, that we will follow up and that we will pay attention to. There is continuous contact between the Office of the Speaker and the Leader of Government Business, where these matters, I will ensure, will also be raised around certain types of bill. But this is the programming committee, honorable members. We program what is ready, and we do take even the comments that you make about bills and committees and what else in the Chief Whip's Forum into account as we progress forward. May I get the report from the Bills Office, please?
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, and good morning, honorable members and colleagues. We only have updates on 4 slides, so we will report on these slides where we have updates. We will start from slide number 3, where we're reporting that the Intergovernmental Monitoring, Support and Interventions Bill, B11 of 2025, it's a proposed Section 76 bill, was introduced on the 15th of April and published in the ATC on the same day. The bill has been referred to the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. With this introduction, it brings the number of bills before the NA committees to 26. It is also worth noting, Honorable Chairperson, that this bill is part of the legislative program for 2025 and is identified as a priority bill. The next slide will be slide number 5. On slide number 5, there are currently 5 draft bills before Parliament, with the recent submission of the South African National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency, SOC Limited Amendment Bill. This bill is also a priority bill. The Bills Office is currently processing this bill to ensure introduction as soon as possible. The next slide is slide number 9. On slide number 9, Honorable Chair, we are indicating that so far, 2 of the 10 priority bills have been introduced, namely the ESCOM Debt Relief Amendment Bill and the Intergovernmental Monitoring, Support and Interventions Bill. The last slide is slide number 10. On slide number 10, Honorable Chair, during the last NAPC meeting, in response to Honorable Manye's question about the Employment Equity Amendment Act, we have committed to provide feedback at the next NAPC, which is the feedback that we are providing today. I can report that several sections of the Employment Equity Amendment Act, Act 4 of 2024, commenced on the 1st of January 2025, as stated in the proclamation that was gazetted on the 28th of November 2024. And we have also, for reference purposes, give members the link underneath our presentation where they can click, and then they will get the proclamation report and the sections that have already commenced and those that haven't commenced. Thank you so much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Are there any questions of clarity from the honorable members? The Honorable Kalipi.
Yes, Chair, I just want to get a clarity on the status of the report that we once dealt with here, the gambling board. There was a mediation committee that was once put in place. What is the status of that process, Chair?
We should have dealt with this under the reports from the committees because this is the bills, but I will ask the presenter, Dr. Twalo, just to respond to the Honorable Kalipi, or Mr. Kaso, maybe you have the latest information on what is the status of the mediation committee. Have they convened? And how far are they and when will they report? Mr. Kaso?
Good morning, House Chairperson and honorable members. House Chair, the two committees have now been constituted. The meeting has not yet happened, of course, unless committee section has the latest information. And at the next meeting, I will give a full report in terms of when the committee will meet and when they hope to finalize the matter. But I commit to that, Chair. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mr. Kaso. I've seen the end of the Honorable Ghana. Honorable Ghana.
Thank you very much, House Chair.
Please mute.
Honorable Ghana, it's a bit, the background noise is a bit overwhelming where you are. Honorable Ghana. You may proceed, Honorable Ghana.
Thank you very much. I just wanted, because the report on the bill still refers to the two bills that
Honorable Ghana, I can't hear you properly. I can hear you speaking in the distance, but I can't hear you properly. It will be difficult to respond to what you are saying. Unless you want to...
Is my sound better now?
That's better. That's better.
All right. Thank you very much. I wanted to just get that you had communicated insofar as the proposed withdrawal of the appropriations at the Division of Revenue, and they are still on the presentation. Is that something that in the next couple of weeks we are going to look at, or what has been the thinking, or what is the current thinking insofar as those two bills, the Division of Revenue and the appropriations? I saw on the draft bill, which is the other question, the draft rates bill is not listed there, and I understand that the minister would have tabled it on the day that we had debated the fiscal framework. I'm not so sure if that is an oversight, because it's also one of the bills that will be retabled to the National Assembly. Thank you very much, House Chair.
Honorable Ghana, I made a statement at the beginning of the meeting, and there was a request and members wanted to intervene and say something about it. And I undertook that I'll deal with it later in the meeting, after we've dealt with the minutes of the previous meeting. We will then address that situation with the available information as we currently have it. Some of these developments happened late last night, but we will deal with the matter later. Further comments on the bills? If not, we proceed to the next item. Can we see the agenda, please? We now on item number 4, the consideration of the parliamentary program. Honorable Dagmo.
Thank you very much, Chair, and greetings once again to all the colleagues in the meeting. Chair, I think at this point, I would just like to make a suggestion and seek guidance from the meeting. I think at the beginning of the meeting, as you indicated, a number of colleagues raised comments after you had read out the statement from the Speaker. I think all of us have seen the statement of the Minister of Finance. And it would seem to me that one thing which is clear is that there are going to have to be serious amendments to the program, given the intention of the Minister to table a revised fiscal framework. And we all know the knock-on effect that actually has. Yesterday, Chair, at the Chief Whips Forum, there had been some discussion, even though we all know that next week is a leave period, for the meeting of the Chief Whips Forum to continue on next week. And it would seem to me, and this is the guidance I'm seeking and part of a proposal I'm making, that in terms of dealing with the detail of this program now in this meeting, given the fact that we need to get a number of points of clarity, and I think also have an opportunity as parties to engage on the matter, that I wanted to ask guidance whether I should proceed with the program as it is. Clearly, this program does not include any possible amendments or anything. It's the program that was developed, without consideration of, say, the reality now of a amended fiscal framework. And this was discussed, this program before this program committee was discussed at the Chief Whips Forum yesterday. And there was also this a broad agreement that we need to convene, which I think would give parties, the table staff, an opportunity, over the weekend and then before the Chief Whips Forum, because next week essentially is leave period. And any amendments would clearly happen in the week after that, the week beginning the 5th of May. So actually, Chair, I want to both propose and seek guidance that we don't go through this program, but that we engage further at the Chief Whips Forum, and then next Thursday propose to the Speaker to convene the programming committee again. Obviously, I'm prepared to go through this, but I don't think it is the right path to follow given the situation at the moment. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you, Honourable Dagmo. I will recognize the members who have their hands up. No, it's a fair proposal. As I've indicated at the beginning of the meeting, that there is a number of things that will change on the program. We must see the program as tabled. Suffice to say that as soon as further information become available from the Minister of Finance on the tabling, on firstly the withdrawal and then the tabling of the new budget instruments, it will be immediately communicated, and then the Chief Whips Forum and then finally the NAPC will be able to reflect on that. But definitely, as far as things stand now on the 6th, where the division of revenue will appear, that item definitely falls off, because the intention of the Minister and the letter that we've received is quite clear that that item will not be proceeded with. The Honourable Reddy, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Chairperson. I never thought there'll be this day when I'll agree with Honourable Dagmo, but I think he's made a valid suggestion in view of the changes that we envisage. However, I just want you, Honourable Dagmo, to make a note, because in the current program that was presented to us, there's been many inconsistencies, which I think may have just been a pure oversight. For one, if you look at the way it's currently presented, there's up to 6 budget votes, debates per day, and they are across all venues, all over the place. And this is logistically a nightmare, especially for those members that serve on multiple committees. Also, the issue of constituency days, Honourable Dagmo. Mondays is set aside for constituency work, yet we see that high-level engagements are planned for the Mondays. Let's avoid that. And please, this principle of oversight versus budget vote finalization. If you look at the current schedule, it expects MPs to conduct oversight while finalizing the appropriation bill matters. That, to especially experienced people like yourselves, Honourable Dagmo, doesn't make sense. The issue of cluster questions, please relook at this. It's poorly distributed. Thank you very much, Chairperson, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Welcome to Parliament, Honourable Reddy. It's hard work. It's a lot of things that need to be done at the same time, but I'm sure the Honourable Dagmo will take what you've said into consideration. Honourable Kalipi.
Chair, just few issues. Yesterday in the Chiefs Forum, the really reason why we considered to have a Chiefs Forum next week during the period, the leave period, was the fact that we're waiting for the outcome of the court, of which the court said they are going to pronounce on the 29th of April or before that. So we're anticipating that the court will be pronouncing on its outcome after the EFF took Parliament to court. But now, after the minister released that statement, which is very unfortunate, I would have thought that Parliament will meet. If we have a working Parliament, they will have met and process all these things that now it appear as a confusion. So it means that this meeting was not supposed to take place. Because when you open the meeting, Chair, with that opening statement of these ministers, the Minister Kotong on a statement, that all we wake up all on it. So it means that we don't have a program. That's why we want some clarity questions to say that how is it going to be addressed? Because it must start from the committee. If he withdraw it how? And then how is going to be fixed? So now, Chair, I am proposing that Wednesday next week is very far. Let us have a meeting as soon as possible, even if it's tomorrow, because we want to have a program as Parliament. And the people of South Africa are waiting to know what will happen going forward. Unfortunately, the Speaker is not here. We are going to engage the Speaker and tell the Speaker this thing was going to be avoided if the letter that we wrote to you at night as the EFF, if you consider that letter and then instruct the committee to go and resit and correct this thing. So now we are finding ourselves here and we want to understand that the programming committee whip is not saying anything. He's just telling us that he's proposing, and he's not proposing, he's proposing what? There's not even a proposal that is putting up here in order for us as a program committee to consider. This is very, 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 very bad in terms of how Parliament works, Chair. So I propose that let us have a very urgent meeting, even if it means today in the evening or tomorrow morning, to salvage the situation. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The Honourable Mtlangwini. Is it on the same matter?
Thank you very much, House Chair. House Chair, I just want to check by the Honourable Dagmo because he seems a little bit confused with his program this morning. With all of these changes and on the program, we must ensure that, because we have topics of debates that are coming up from political parties, questions to the Deputy President. So within this quarter, how will all of these changes change those programs that is quite also important to political parties to have their topics discussed and questions to the Deputy President? Because I remember yesterday in the Chief Whips Forum, it was quite, we had to even move around the Youth Parliament in order to make space for the Deputy President to come to Parliament to come and ask questions because of his schedule. Now, the last point that we must be totally clear on, House Chair, is the fact that of the letter of the Minister of Finance. And it must be very clear that the Minister, he cannot just say a letter and say it's withdrawn. That was a parliamentary decision, and it ought to come back to Parliament, and Parliament can do the reversal. Not the Minister cannot say, no, I'm reversing A, and I'm reversing B, and I'm reversing 3. It can't happen. It must come back to Parliament, and it's only Parliament that can re-evaluate a decision that it have taken, not the Minister solely himself there at Union Buildings. Thank you, House Chair.
No, thank you, Honourable Member. I want to recognize the Chief Whip of the largest party, the Honourable Ntuli. Good morning, Chief Whip.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to all colleagues in the meeting. No, my suggestion, Chairperson, is that I mean we received the presentation of the program yesterday in the Chief Whips Forum, and we're quite comfortable with the program in its current form, including the amendment in terms of the date at which the Youth Parliament is going to take place, so that we accommodate the questions to the Deputy President. That was well clarified yesterday, and I think all of us were satisfied. Hence, when the program whip presented the program this morning, earlier on, my view was that this is largely consistent with what we adopted yesterday. Notwithstanding the fact that there has been a statement made by the Minister of Finance whose implications and consequences, I would imagine, are yet to be properly understood by parliamentary processes in terms of what then happens on the program of Parliament that we all have adopted and were happy with. And I would want to suggest that let's reaffirm our support of the program in its current form, up until such time that the Speaker advises us in terms of the implications arising from the statement made by the Minister of Finance. And then as Parliament, we will then have to reflect on that and see what is it that is required on our part to take that intervention on board. I'm saying that, Chair, because it was Parliament in its majority that voted on the 2nd of April to adopt the fiscal framework with a rider that within the next 30 days, the Minister and the National Treasury will interface with proposals coming from not just political parties represented in Parliament, but other stakeholders who are keenly interested to deal with the contentious question of the VAT increase. Now, if the Minister has received those and he has acted the way he has, I think what we need to do from our own end is to wait for a proper conversation between, I would imagine, the leader of government business and the speaker on the practical implications of the statement made by the minister today, and how should we then accommodate the process in the program, which I think should not really be entirely out of our own expectations, given the decision we made as Parliament on that day and the condition attached to that very same decision. That's my proposal, Chair, which I hope will help us to proceed. Thanks.
No, thank you, Chief Whip. No, I tend to agree with you. My apologies. The Honourable Tlangwini makes an important point. And she mentions that there's also other work, important work that the National Assembly must attend to. And that's in line with the comment that I want to make, is that the program, at least for the next 2 weeks, be confirmed. And as I've indicated, that the item on the division of revenue on the 6th will fall off the program. And as the information becomes available, as the Honourable Ntuli has said, we will implore from the side of the Office of the Speaker with the leader of government business that we get certainty, that we get the dates, so that we can then move forward with our program of the National Assembly to deal with this very important item concerning the budget. But there is other work. There is questions, there's members' motions, there's questions to the Deputy President, there's important debates that will take place about Freedom Day. There's a debate that's also scheduled to take about Workers' Day. So there is other work that needs to be confirmed, and that will be my ruling on this matter, that there is a program and it will be updated as soon as the other information become available. Can we have the agenda again, please? Can you flag the agenda?
Sorry, Chairperson, I have a question, if I may.
Yes, Honourable Reddy.
Thank you, Chair. The issue raised by Honourable Kalepi regarding the issue of the fiscal framework has not been adequately addressed, because what we're doing now is responding to a media statement issued by the minister late last night. This was obviously not known even at the Chief Whip's forum yesterday. Now, if that framework, if it's now outdated or incorrect due to changes in revenue collection or VAT policy, then that too has to be withdrawn, amended and reprocessed. Because if it's not done legally sound, then we as a party will take this matter to court, because we are not a spaza shop operation, Chairperson. This is the Parliament of South Africa, National Parliament. So the issues raised by Honourable Nkalepi needs to be addressed. It's not good enough just to say, we've had this program yesterday at Chief Whip's forum, we discussed it. Things have changed after that, and we're responding to those changes now. Thank you.
Honourable Nkalepi.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. No, I don't agree with what we want to propose here as the programming committee. As things stands, we don't have a budget. We can't pretend as if things are normal. So therefore, that's why I'm proposing that there must be an urgent meeting from the Speaker's office, or she must call the political leaders of political parties in Parliament to discuss this issue. Because we can't pretend as if there's a budget. It's going to affect the whole country. Because as things stands now, the country does not have a budget. So coming here, proposing that let us wait for the Speaker taking her time to deal with the matter is not acceptable. That's why we are proposing that let us have a meeting, even tonight, let us reconvene and get a way forward in order for the country to know what is the way forward. As I was alluding to the fact that it must start from the committee level, as we also said before, that the committee adopted the procedure that was very illegal. So coming here, Chair, and wanted to pretend as if everything is fine is not acceptable, Chair. Let us take a decision. We have powers as members of Parliament. We have powers in terms of the programming committee that we can reconvene an urgent meeting to deal with this matter of the budget. Thank you, Chair.
No,
Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. May I assure and reassure members that since this development and the announcement by the Minister, the Speaker's office has treated the matter with the necessary seriousness. The Speaker is the person who convenes, according to the rules, the programming committee, and she will do so as soon as she has the relevant information to share. What the Minister intends to do, we will have a discussion after this meeting between the Office of the Speaker, Leader of Government Business Office, and the Chief Whips will be informed accordingly. But thank you very much for your comments. It is an important matter. Can we fly the agenda, please? We now go to the minutes of the meeting of the 3rd of April. If you can fly those minutes, it was distributed. So members had time to go through these minutes and read it. Can we start at the top, please? On the first page. Don't start in the middle. Yes. Okay, now you can scroll through the minutes, Andrew. Thank you. There was a presentation on the bills of, and then there was a consideration of the parliamentary program. Can we go further? You scroll down. Thank you. Honourable members, the minutes was distributed. It's been flighted. I now will recognize if a member have any correction that they want to make to these minutes before I put it up for consideration and adoption. Is there any corrections? There's no corrections. May I request a member who was part of the meeting on that specific day to move for the adoption of these minutes? The Honourable Darkmore.
No, Chair. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the one meeting I missed. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, so you can't move for the adoption. Is there any other member on the platform who was part of that meeting who wants to move for the adoption of the minutes? Will you raise your hand? I hope the honourable members are still on the platform.
No, we are here.
You are here. Yes, you are here, Honourable Reddy.
Yeah, no, I think I was in that meeting. I'll be glad to second that minutes, Chairperson.
No, you must first move for the adoption.
I move for the adoption.
I give you greater prominence. I move you up from seconding to moving for the adoption. Is there a seconder to the Honourable Reddy's proposal that the minutes be adopted? Is there a seconder? Honourable Horn.
Second, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Horn. Honourable members, the minutes have been adopted. Are there any matters arising that you want to bring to our attention?
Chair, we do have a list of matters arising. I would ask the colleagues to place them on the screen. House Chairperson, there was an issue about the Employment Equity Act, and the question was whether the Act is now in place and effective. And would like to report that the President announced in November that the Act will commence on the 1st of January 2025. And of course, there was a proclamation to that effect, which was shared earlier. There was a matter of security checks at entrances to the precincts. And the concern there was that members are searched and ministers are not. And the matter is being addressed with security. The head of security of Parliament is attending to it, Chair. Then the next one is alternative venues for the NA. Of course, you would have noticed in the program for the Division of Revenue, we had intended to meet at the Century City Convention Center. That is now going to change with these amendments. And then the additional slot for member statements and motions, that slot has now been created for the 29th and the 3rd of June. And the Youth Parliament is now scheduled for the 13th, only the 13th of June, and not the 12th and the 13th of June. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Castle. Are there any additional matters that members want to raise in terms of that meeting that took place? I don't see any hands. Honorable members, that concludes. Honorable Kalipi.
Chair, I think what is missing is the update on the dome. The last meeting also engaged very extensively on the issue of the dome.
The matter of the dome, Mr. Castle, what is the latest that you have there? Is there anything that you? But before you do that, I see the Honorable Reddy's hand is also up, so maybe you will also be able to respond to what.
Chair, just a reminder, I asked for an additional item to be put on the agenda, and you said that it will be dealt with after the minutes.
That's correct. We're getting there.
Thank you.
Mr. Castle?
House Chair, the matter of the dome was discussed extensively and is being discussed in the Chief Whip's Forum, even yesterday. And it was reported there that the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure will be attending the next meeting of the Chief Whip's Forum on the 7th of May to give an update also on the issue of accommodation for staff. And therefore, my advice, Chair, is that we don't entertain the matter here. The Chief Whip's Forum is seized with the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Castle. Honorable members.
Chair.
Who's speaking now?
Is Mkalipi.
Yes, Honorable Member.
On a matter of principle and on a matter of procedures, if any item has been discussed in a programming committee, it must reflect as such. We can't be saying, therefore, the matter was discussed in the Chief Whip's Forum, then we can't discuss that matter because it's officially, it was discussed here. So therefore, the proposal of Bob Kaso was supposed to give us the status and then resolved by proposing that let us take back this matter after that minister said it's going to be available. It's a matter of procedure, Chair. Thanks.
Yeah, now, procedurally, the matter will get a report from the chairperson of the Chief Whip's Forum. Since the matter is there, it will be noted in our minutes that such the minister will appear at the Chief Whip's Forum and will get a full report on what transpired there. The Honorable Reddy.
Chairperson, may I suggest that when the minister comes to the Chief Whip's Forum, because I take the point that Honorable Kalepi raises, maybe the programming committee can also be invited to that meeting, because the issue of the dome has been extensively discussed here in the programming committee. And now that the matter is going to receive attention in the Chief Whip's Forum, I think it would be a wise idea for the programming committee to be invited to that meeting on the 7th as well. Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Reddy, most, if not all, of the members of the NAPC are also members of the Chief Whip's Forum. But that will leave that in the hands of the Honorable Mtuli so that he can deal with that. Can we fly the agenda now, please? Honorable Mtuli, I see your hand is up.
No, Chair. I mean, you have already said what I wanted to say. We'll think about that suggestion when we get the minister coming on board. Thanks.
Thank you. Then the item that we've added to the agenda is an item that the Honorable Reddy wanted to reflect on. Honorable Reddy.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I honestly appreciate the opportunity to raise this matter. And I'd like to call it inconsistent committee practices. The problem, Chairperson, is that Parliament is now becoming like a spectator sport for members of Parliament, especially those of us who are in the opposition. In committee after committee, We are sitting through long, repetitive presentations, yet when it's time to speak, MPs are given the crumbs of the time, if any at all. Worse still, there is no consistency. Every chair runs their committees like a private fiefdom. Some allow engagement while others shut it down. Some allow extensive engagement and others don't. This isn't just poor engagement, it is just poor management. And somehow there needs to be some consistency that only this committee can apply throughout Parliament's portfolio committees. Chairperson, in my experience as a chairperson, we respected members' time. What we used to do was we used to take presentations as read. Take today's meeting, for example. Presenters came and read through presentations, which we all received a day or two or quite early in advance. So it is expected, we got these gadgets paid for by taxpayers, which we are supposed to be using. Go through these presentations and then come to these forums and start to engage on points of clarity, etc. But the problem is some of our members don't read. And so we come here expecting these reports to be read again. What should happen is these presentations, Chairperson, should be taken as read, and meetings must be used for engagement and not just for these PowerPoint slides by officials. I tell you what we need to do. We need to develop standard time allocation rules for all committees. And we need to ensure that presentations are limited when documents are pre-circulated. There must be a uniform practice of taking presentations as read. And a reminder to chairpersons, committees are really for oversight. They're not PR for departments. And if this continues, we must escalate this to the Speaker, because MPs cannot be reduced, Chairperson, to spectators in their own committees. As MK Party, we will not allow Parliament to be used as a rubber stamp for the executive. Let's fix this. I think we can. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your statement on this matter, Honorable Reddy. May I do and say the following, is that you refer to the different practice and whatever, but you know, the Chief Whip of the MK Party has an open door to visit or access to an open door to come to my office at any given time, as he has done in the past on one or two matters. And where these practices that you are referring to come to my office and bring it to my attention so that we can specifically deal with the committees concerned. There is a pro forma prescribed format for these meetings, the way it must take place, and sometimes maybe it is not always stuck to or implemented the way that it should be implemented, but please come and discuss it with me so that we can deal with the specific committees concerned. Thank you very much. Can we fly the agenda, please? Honorable members, are there any announcements, Mr. Castle, that you wish to make or that you are aware of, or any other member want to raise?
No announcement from our side, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, that brings us to the end of this meeting. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Recording stopped.